Oh my goodness, what is that? That's big. What in the world? What's going on, guys? This has been a very long time coming, like years in the making. But I've got Dad here, and we're going to fish the pond that's right in front of my house. I built it like 4 years ago, somewhere around there, and it's been a challenge to get it to hold water. If you guys have been following the whole process, it has been a process. So we've got it holding water. As of last year, it was holding water really good. I got in here with the roller and I rolled it and got it sealed real well after putting about 8 inches of red clay in here. And so last year, Dad and I proceeded to stock it with fish. Well, I didn't want to invest a whole lot of money in stocking it with fish, and we have neighboring ponds around the area. So Dad and I got out there with the seine, and we tried to do everything appropriately. We tried to have the correct ratio of bluegill to bass for the pond, but we also wanted enough feeder minnows and enough feeder bluegill to be able to feed the bass, but we didn't want the bass to be too big either, that they also outcompete everything. So we got in there and seined, and I don't remember how many bluegill that we ended up putting in here that were just like small bluegill. We caught a lot of minnows, put them in here to feed the bluegill, and then we put a handful of bass in here. I think we put about 15 fish. Yeah, we might have had 12, but it was somewhere between 10 to 15 bass that we put in here, and those could have been anywhere from 3 to 4, maybe 6 inches max. They were all really young bass. So I think we got it ratioed out correctly, because at night when I walk around this pond, I can see hundreds of newly hatched bluegill. So I know that there's those feeder size bluegill and minnows in this pond, so that's really exciting. Well, we went through the process again here recently that the pond was losing water. We've never really had a substantial rain to really fill the pond up all the way. What we need for that is we need a huge flood, because this primarily only fills up with a lot of runoff. And we just haven't had that. Well, after we got it sealed last year, we did get it to hold higher than it's even holding right now. But then we started losing water this year and we couldn't figure it out. Well, come to find out, if you watched the last video, it was a duck house, because it was anchored down with bricks. That duck house moving ended up, those bricks were moving down at the bottom and basically broke the seal of the pond, and it was seeping out. Well, now we've got it holding water. We've not had a big rain to fill it back up, and I know when it gets to its full potential, it can be about 8 foot deep on each end. And right now we're probably 4+ foot deep on each end right now, maybe a little deeper than that. But we're gonna fish it because we've been wanting to, and we've seen big swirls, we've seen fish jump, and there's no telling what we're gonna catch. But this is kind of nicknamed Dad's Pond because Dad really likes to fish, so I'm gonna let him catch the first fish, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we can get some bass and see if we can get some bluegill out of here, and it's pretty exciting. So this is, like I said, 4 years in the making of like trying to seal a pond, it leaking out, trying to rework it, try to get it to go, and as you can tell, it's looking really pretty out here now, and it's doing its job. So we're gonna get to fishing and see what we catch.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of tails right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish in there. Let me see if I can go down there real quick. Were you gonna fish right here to start, or where are you gonna go? Right here. Oh yeah, look at all of them. There's probably, I guarantee, about 20 right there. Yeah. Like that are this big or smaller. There's a ton of them in there.
If you look out farther, I saw one with a pretty good sized tail.
Yeah, look at all them right in there. There's a lot in there. So we've got we were out here this morning because it's exceptionally hot. I ended up looking for some worms just around the farm here, and it's so hot and dry you can't even find worms. Out of all my search, I found 8 worms. So we've got worms that we're going to use just because pretty much you're going to get hammered on, period, with those. These fish have never been fished ever, except when we seined them out of the other pond. So got shade on about half the pond right now, and I guarantee we're going to catch some fish. There's a lot of fish in there. I just want to see how big of a fish we're going to catch. Putting on a worm. One of the only few worms that I found. There's a few in there. I have a feeling the first cast that you'll catch something. We do have a little bit of brush down in here, kind of in some weird areas, so that one didn't work.
I didn't go very far. There it goes.
First fish, first cast into Dad's pond there. But I have bricks throughout it. We have rock piles all throughout it. We got some trees kind of sunk in here, some bushes. You can kind of see them all around. There's plenty of habitat here. Oh, well, that's bigger than I was expecting you to catch out there. That's pretty good. He swallowed that hook, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He's hungry.
That's the first one right there. Yep. Into the pond. We're right there in the deep spot. Nothing. I saw a little bunch of little ones chasing it. Cast number 2. Go a little deeper. Got some moss on it. It's actually encouraging to see some moss in there.
That's where I cast it.
Yeah, figured go more along that bank instead of right in the deep spot. I haven't felt anything yet. Ooh, see how big that one was?
Yeah.
Just swirled. That wasn't even close to my line. Well, it was kind of where my line was in the water, but not where. That was a big one. There you go. They're bumping it now. Nice. Dude, that's a good sized one.
Yeah.
Woo!
You had to beat me, huh?
Holy cow. We did not put any that big in here. Like, we put some bluegills in here, but they weren't anything like that. That's a good fish. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. That's borderline slab right there.
Yeah.
See if I can... No, 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 no.
I hope I got that on video.
Yeah. Yeah. I caught him again. That's a good fish out there. For having fish in here no more than a year, that's impressive. I mean, that's a good size fish. There you go, we're on the kind of the east end of the pond. The pond kind of does like a half boomerang shape here. And you can tell when it gets up, it's going to be pretty big, and it will be more. It's probably in some areas right now about 10 yards wide or so. It'll be more like 15, 20 when it's all the way full. Walking over here, and this it kind of gets shallow right here in this little funnel way, and we saw a really nice fish in here swim out. We've seen some big splashes here, so we know we've got to have some bass still in here. We only put like 12 in here just so they wouldn't wipe out everything. Oh my goodness, what is that? That's big! What in the world? That bass turned out to be huge! We put maybe at the longest, what, 6 inches
Yeah,
in here?
6 inches.
That is crazy, catching down the pond. There's my house! That's nuts. That's a good bass. Go ahead and let it go nice and easy in there. Hopefully I got that. Kind of went. Yeah. All right, guys, well, Dad and I are literally sweating buckets. It's like in the 9 o'clock hour out here. It's supposed to be probably 100 plus degrees with the heat index today, and we're just sitting here just sweating the entire time. But it exceeded all expectations. We only caught a handful of fish, but be able to come down here and build a pond where people said you couldn't build a pond, because when I bought this place, this was all nothing but brush. The house was dilapidated, and there was a small pond here with a pocket of trees around it that it never held water. So we dug it out, we expanded on it, we dug it all the way around this hillside. People said it wouldn't hold water, and we've experimented, we've had our struggles and successes and failures all in this pond. But to be able to come down here, yards from your front porch, catch some very, very healthy fish in the first couple of casts is pretty dang awesome. So this is only going to get better. So now we've got to start. What do you got there?
Another good perch.
Oh, nice. Another good one. That was a green sunfish. We caught a couple of those, and then we've got some large bluegill, and then Dad's really nice bass, which was cool. So now we've got to start building the fish structure and start building all that. So because there's some structure that I have started in here, but I didn't want to build a whole lot of structure, because if it was not going to hold, I didn't want to have to take all that structure out and drain it, then rework it. But I think it's going to hold now. We just need some end of the world floods to come in and finally start filling this thing up, which doesn't look like it's going to be any time in the next couple week forecast. It's like 100-degree days for the next couple weeks and 0 rain. So anyway, super excited about this. This was really, really cool. We're going to keep updating you guys as we put in fish habitat and just start looking to better this pond, because we saw a lot of actual bass minnows, so we know there's a population of bass in here. Like I said, we put about 12 in, I think, and we've seen a ton of bluegill and green sunfish minnows from this year, and then some probably from the last season or a couple hatches ago. It's awesome. It's doing great. So if you guys like this video, be sure to comment down below, give a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and until next time, have a better than average day.